Hey, girl.
The meeting will come to order. If you would, we will stand for the invocation. Pledge allegiance to Paul.
Remember, one's, her husband died today, you know that?
One son. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Happy to report the snow bad, so.
Yeah, Bobo.
If you would, both in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, Father, we thank you for yet another day that you bless us with. Father, I ask that you will be with the families of those that have lost loved ones tonight, Miss Wanda and Borders. And Father, I ask that you will comfort them and to help strengthen them and lift them up during this time. Father, we thank you for your Son, Jesus, who willingly died on the cross for us, that we could have the hope of a home with you in heaven. Father, as we conduct business here tonight, I pray that you will guide us and help us to make wise decisions. Father, go with us as we leave here, guide, guard, and direct us, and bring us back to the next appointed time. In Christ's name, amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mayor Jolly here, Vice Mayor Talley.
Here.
Alderman Bradford. Here. Alderman Campbell.
Here.
And Alderman McDonald. Here. Approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting from January 5th, 2021. Ms. Hannah, I'll read them, but it's going to take you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
There's a lot of them. All right. Tenant Petersburg Board of Mayor of Alderman meeting, January 5th, 2021. Invocation and pledge of allegiance, led by Mayor Jolly. Roll call. All members present. Mayor Jolly, Vice Mayor Talley, Alderman Bradford, Alderman Campbell, and Alderman McDonald. The minutes of the regular board meeting of December 8, 2020 were read and approved with corrections. The spelling of Citizen Tanya Zamora's name and Vice Mayor Charles Talley corrected from Alderman. Vice Mayor Charles Talley made the motion to approve the minutes. Alderman Rita County seconded the motion. Financial report from Don Mills. Mr. Mills advised that Petersburg had received the $8,400 grant monies for police salaries and also the $42,000 grant monies for the water system improvements and repairs. Mr. Mills further advised that Petersburg's net income was close to budget, $12,000. General fund is doing just fine. Mr. Mills reminded the board that the large expenditures from the water budget was for the necessary water testing and study. The water budget is holding its own. There is a small shortfall in refuse month to month, tied to a software issue that has failed to bill the garbage on a limited number of bills. Mr. Mills further advised that the water system is showing a margin of profit, doing much better. Citizens input. Mr. John Hillen introduced himself and noted his experience with water systems and repairs, being a licensed and insured water operator, grade 2, offering his help with repairs. His experience also extends to sewer, septic, and tile work. Communication by the mayor. There was no specific communication from the mayor. New business. The Board of Aldermen, Vice Mayor Charles Talley, and Mayor Jolly engaged in discussion of the fee being paid to the judge and documentation to support amount being paid. All members agreed to ask the judge to attend the board meeting to facilitate a resolution regarding the judge's fee and administration of the court fees as called out in the city charter was necessary. Building permit fees. Mayor Jolly advised that the Planning Commission had met and reviewed the building permit criteria and fee structure, determining that the permit fees to be based upon square footage of the conditioned versus non-conditioned square footage. This was followed by a brief discussion by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen on comparable rates in both Fayetteville and Lewisburg. The permitting fees prior to February 2019 were too vague, thus being relatively ineffective. Alderman Jake Bradford, having previously sat on the commission, advised that in January of 2019, the Planning Commission designated an improved permitting fee structure, and said document was voted on by the sitting Board of Mayor and Aldermen in February or March of 2019. New water service application. There have been issues where water customers' bills were not being paid in accordance with the water policy. It was determined by the board that the policy of disconnecting the customer's service for non-payment by the time frame of the service application and noted on the back of every month's water bill. Failure to receive bill does not relieve customer of payment and penalty. No final notice will be sent. The bills are due on the 15th of each month. If bill remain unpaid by the 22nd of each month, service will be disconnected without further notice. An applicable reconnection fee of $50 must be paid before service is restored, will be implemented and maintained. Alderman Cowan mentioned that she understood that after-hours water reconnection fee was $75 rather than $50. This brought into discussion the hours of business of Town Hall due to historic verbiage that was no longer correct. The suggestion was made to refer to the business hours rather than specified hours. Vice Mayor Charles Talley made the motion to amend the hours 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to hours of operation. Alderman Jeff Bradford seconded the motion. The vote was taken and passed unanimously. Hiring part-time help. Mayor Jolly advised the Board of Aldermen that Ms. Jessica Revis had given her 2-week notice, December 30th, 2020. Her final day being January 15th, 2021. Mayor Jolly requested that a secretarial clerical part-time employee be advertised for. The question arose about prior applicants being considered. This position will not be in that salary range. Alderman Jake Bradford made the motion to proceed with the advertisement for the part-time position. The motion was seconded by Alderman Randy McDonald. The vote was taken and the motion passed unanimously. Old business. Police candidate potential, cost to the town of sponsoring a candidate, academy and salary benefits was discussed. The approximate cost of the 12-week period is determined to be close to $10,000 and was duly noted that the expenditure was not guaranteed with a successful candidate graduation. Water operator. Mayor Jolly advised that he had met with an applicant for an extensive interview. Applicant expressed interest having other opportunities available to him as well. We should be prepared to have a specific salary amount, recognizing that this is a necessary position to be filled, and being very specific, licensure and responsibility will require attractive compensation. Upon Mr. Ashley's departure, the town has 30 days to employ a properly certified water operator. Water report. Mr. Ashley's monthly water report attached. Parks and Rec report, no report. Senior citizens, no report. Police chief, Chief Griffey's monthly report attached. Fire department, no report. Adjourned. There being no further business, Alderman Rita Cowan made a motion to adjourn. Vice Mayor Charles Talley seconded. A vote was taken, and the motion to adjourn passed unanimously. Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I make the motion.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed. Okay. Financial report.
Okay, does everybody have a copy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you look at the general fund, it shows a healthy profit for the month of $55,000. And a large part of it is the $42,000 of COVID grant. That makes up a large portion of that, $55,000. And then, but overall, the general fund shows a $91,000 profit year to date. And part of this is because the debt payment is not due for several months. Revenues are exceeding the original estimates, and they look very healthy. The general government and police department are under budget for the year so far, but the new parks department is over budget, so we're proposing a budget amendment of, I think it's a little over $400, and we're proposing that it be taken from the insurance expense, because right now there's enough in prepaid to cover the insurance expense through February, and the amounts recognized from February to June will not exceed the prepaid amount that's budgeted. And in the water fund is slightly positive for the month. And I've got some payroll allocations there listed so that everybody can see how it was the payroll has been allocated. And this splits are based on Ms. Meredith's estimate and observations for each employee and how they spend their time. The water fund is still holding $20,000 profit for the year. The refuse fund is showing a profit for the month and the year to date, and it's under budget for year to date. The state street aid is showing a profit for the month and the year to date, and the expenditures are under budget.
says on the salaries minus 4,000. What was budgeted? Utilities and communication minus 3,000. Operating minus 3,000. The overall over budget is saying minus 20.
You're talking about the general,
I'm going, what you talked about on the budget, it says, over whatever was budgeted. I'm just looking at that right now.
you see the budget, the total budget 71,000, and the total expenditures are 50, so that means that you've got 20,000 still in the budget. See, the budget says,
Minus.
well, that says over, but the total expenditures were 71,000 for budget, they were budgeted.
Budgeted.
So see, you haven't spent but 50.
Right, you're 20,000 under budget.
But right now, we're going in, well, this was for what, January, December's. So we're looking at, what, 6 more months?
Yeah, but that's not year-to-date budget, that's just prorated.
I don't know, I'm just going with what's on paper.
That's
I don't know.
that's what I'm saying, it's just, it's not for the whole year.
I know.
No,
All right. On this, here, the amendment,
mhm.
now, would that have to be advertised like the adoption of the budget for the final reading?
I don't think you have to,
Anytime we have,
but it has to be read twice.
yeah, anytime we have a meeting, we'll have to have.
I don't mean a meeting, I mean just, like tonight, we've got this, it can pass the first reading, I know. I just have this, as you know, you do your budget, the final reading is advertised, and you have a, but this is just an amendment. Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the financials as presented?
Make the motion to accept.
We have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. On this budget ordinance amendment, I'll read. The ordinance of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the Town of Petersburg, Tennessee, that the following amendments are made to the budget ordinance for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. Section 1, to amend the general fund, the expenditures are to be changed as follows. Health, welfare, recreation, Christmas program, like Christmas bonuses, increase $500, and the other general government insurance, public entity partners, decrease $500. Section 2, the purpose of this amendment is to provide funding for the cost related to the annual Christmas parade. Okay, I could read further unit. Adopted on the first reading this day, 2021. We have a motion.
Okay, on the recreation department, how much was budgeted for them?
We hold the budget.
What's the question?
She asked how much was budgeted.
For recreation.
Okay, well, if you look on page 5, right out next to total, 44,700 health, welfare, and recreation. In December, we spent $345. That money is paid from Parks and Rec to people in the Christmas break. We budgeted $0. So we're $345 over budget.
But how much do they have in there?
How much do they have in their account? If you look on the first page, it is $3,509.
So that didn't come out of their account. I thought they used their account to pay for recreational stuff, parks. But they've always, used their own money when it comes to them doing things. So we wouldn't be able to budget if it hadn't been paid out of the general fund. That's what I'm asking.
I'm not for sure I had that many.
But right now, it's saying it come out of the general fund, that 300.
Right.
Cause usually the parks and recs use their own money.
I'm not sure what checking account it came out of, but in order for them to spend it, it has to be
It's budgeted.
approved.
And all we're doing now is just moving
Uh-huh,
numbers on the paper.
yeah, exactly.
But I'm just asking, I don't know what account it came out of either, that's what I'm asking.
But even if they have money in their account, they can't spend it unless it's approved by you guys.
Well, I know it's part of the town, but
So do we
they've
have,
never done it before, I'll just please do that away.
so do we have a motion to accept the first reading of this here ordinance?
I'll make a motion to accept.
And we have a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Citizens input. Yes, ma'am.
The MG group guy, the last meeting, the question was on the water. The mayor had received a letter from the state basically saying the water rates need to be increased. The Board of Aldermen, elected board member, checked into it extensively. Brought the report back to the Board of Aldermen for them to be aware of different issues that had come up that would possibly make the state change their mind or reassess their assessments. During this discussion, our appointed as well as elected aldermen allowed an employee company to tell you, quote, "Don't worry about the state. I'm a citizen, my taxes help pay that company's wages and fees. You were appointed and elected to represent the concerns of the citizens of Petersburg. Our tax dollars pays their payments, fees, whatever they are, and they don't have the right to tell you not to pay attention to what the state tells you. And I would appreciate it if the board would be more cognizant of representing the citizens of Petersburg and not allow any company to tell you, quote, don't worry about the state, unquote. You have to worry about the state. That's why we elected you."
Anyone else? Moving on. Okay. Communication by email. The only thing I have this month is preferred protocol requests from aldermen. If, as an alderman, you see an employee doing something or anything, or you want to tell an employee something, I just want to remind everybody that the mayor has supervisory duties over the employees. If I'm not here, Mr. Charles tells me anything that goes on, and I would prefer if you have any sort of grievance or anything with an employee, and instead of saying something to an employee, that you just say something to me. Number 7, new business. introduce Ms. Judge Quinn Brandon Stewart. We wanted to call you, how are you?
I'm good.
We wanted to call you not just to touch base
Okay.
and just to make sure we're on the same page and everything. I know the past year has been interesting, to say the least, and somehow we've just gotten off of some stuff, but the main interest was that in order to pay you and to pay the chief and everything, just looking at our charter, we just want to make sure that court costs are being charged. You know, it's just vital for us that we have money to pay you and everyone else. And we also wanted to touch base, have we ever, like, sat down and discussed, like, here's the judicial fee?
No. I'll tell you what I know. I was appointed by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen in 2005. And I've been here ever since. Obviously, I'm not collecting any court costs right now because the
Right.
Tennessee Supreme Court has said that we can't hold court.
Until May, I think it is.
It's currently March 31st, but it's subject to change. They keep extending it, so there's no court, so I'm not getting
Right.
court costs. So there I am. I realize that's backing everybody up, but my hands are tied on that. But periodically, I'm assuming the board voted to give me raises in the last 16 years, but I have never signed a contract because I'm at the will of the board, and I've never asked for a raise, and I don't know exactly
Sure.
what you want from me, or what you want to know about, but.
Did any of the aldermen want to point, not point,
Well-
oppose any?
I think, was you not asking her about, like you said, the court costs, because we went over what our charter says about it. And I know you're not having court now, but have you, in 2005, up until they stopped court, have you done that? I think what he was wondering.
Yes, I've collected court costs. I mean, when someone is guilty, if they're not guilty, they're not paying court costs, because that's unconstitutional. But if,
Does she have a copy of what this charter says?
I was mailed a copy that has like court administration in it.
Yes. That's chapter 2.
I'm assuming, because that's what we.
That's what I've been charging everybody all along in court costs, was the $162.50.
Okay, we didn't know, because I thought we were under the understanding that it wasn't being, that's what we thought as a board.
That I wasn't charging court costs?
You know what the charter says.
Well, that's fine. I just wanted to touch base and
Okay.
see if we was on the same page. Anything else from anybody?
I mean, I can only charge what is in front of me. And, I mean, if I'm not having court, I can't charge court costs.
Well, we know, but up until this, like several months, you had court, and we were wondering from when you did, and I didn't know you've been here since 2005, but I had been on the board, but that was our question, we was all wondering.
If someone is found guilty, I have them pay court costs. Some of them, I've had them pay court costs, and I've dismissed it, or I've had to make a donation. It depends on every case. I can't sit here and say.
Do a lot get dismissed?
I would not say that. But if I don't have a police officer here, and someone pleads not guilty, I have to follow the law.
Oh, we understand that. We don't want them breaking the law.
Right. Was there anything else?
Well, it's come up already, we've discussed it, I see you're getting paid $200.
right now is your fee, but we've only had the budget, I think it was 2 months ago or 3, we've only been budgeting $125, so we need
That's what
to,
was budgeted last year.
yeah, so we
That
need
need to be
to,
amended.
yeah, we'll need to, I think $200 is fair for a judge's fee to come to court, but we do need to amend the budget for that because we're going $75 over budget every single month.
Yeah, that was brought up several months ago.
Yeah, so,
Well, I am sorry to drag you to Petersburg for this.
But that's okay. I've been to worse places.
Where's the Petersburg?
Not far.
Did I say that right? I'm sorry.
Well, you're telling the truth.
The only other thing I have under new business is I have an easement request here from United Telephone Company. I don't know if anybody's noticed United Communications trucks running around town. But, you know, as some of you may or may not know, they were awarded a grant to bring fiber optic high-speed internet to Petersburg. I had met with one of the engineers sometime last year, and they were looking for a place, a piece of property that the city owned, to place like a networking hub. It's a big stainless box, is what it is. And we were hoping for the senior citizen center, but that building is in a flood zone. So they have proposed a 20 by 20 section at Alumni Park on the corner of Morgan and Church. So I'll pass this around. I'll show this side of the table if you're, and if you've driven by there, you've seen it. They staked it off. But this is 431. This is Church Street, Morgan Street, and right here, a 20-foot by 20-foot section right next to the sidewalk. And of course, Randy saw this last night, the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission met last night and looked at it, and as the Planning Commission, they just made the recommendation to the board that to accept the easement, but obviously that decision is up for the board. And I can read the easement.
But how much they gonna pay us to put the box there?
$1. What it is it's not so much about the monetary as it is the having it come to town.
Yeah.
And-
But they're gonna be making money through my basin.
Oh, I'm fine, because I want their internet. If anybody here has the current provider.
What, AT&T?
Yeah.
I'm fine with mine.
I have AT&T. I have no problems with AT&T.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gosh, so you've never had faster from anywhere
It's
else?
the worst internet I've ever had in my entire life.
Me
Yeah.
too.
that works.
I
I ain't fine with mine.
despise
Everything's
it with a passion.
Well, are they cheaper than AT&T?
I'll put it to you in
All I have is internet.
speed.
I don't care about speed. I care about price.
Oh,
Because I'm the one that makes that payment.
well, I think it's what, 80?
Oh, no.
For like for the highest package they have, or maybe 100, something like that, for the highest package.
I know one of the guys who works there very well.
I do too.
I asked him the same thing. He said that in the $50 to $60 range will be their base package.
AT&T 65.
Mine's $55 a month for
But-
like
But you
The
have
speeds-
AT&T.
6
The speeds are
gigabytes or
gonna be roughly
megabytes.
15 to 30 times faster in the base package.
Yeah, my speed's 14.
Yeah, it'll
If I'm
be
lucky.
300 roughly, so it'll be quite a bit faster.
Yeah, mine's one of them.
But-
I want to fast enough. Some of it I don't want.
But I talked to Angie about it because it is a park. And Parks and Rec, all they said was that they were okay with it, it's the town's property, so. But, yeah.
I make a motion that we accept the easement.
Well, I have a question. How hard would it be to get into that box? Because we got some wild kids around there.
I'm sure it'll be very secure.
Well, and that's the thing, it's up to them to maintain it, and to maintain that 20 by 20 section. But yeah, you made the motion, you seconded it. All those fair say aye. All those opposed? Okay. Unfinished business, update of the sale of the trailer out here. Mr. Don had spoken to me after one of the meetings that, I want to ask y'all about this. He said most towns now, instead of advertising something like that in the paper and taking bids because it costs money to advertise, that they had placed these things for sale on govdeals.com. Understand? Excuse me, it doesn't cost anything to post.
I
So
thought we just stick a for sale sign out there.
you can do that if, my understanding, if it's valued less than $1,000, which I don't know what the value of the trailer is. I know what you can buy a new one for.
I know we, was interested in.
Yes, he's worried me to death about it.
Frankie Hazel's used to do.
Mayor, you'll be able to get more for it if you guys put up for sale sign or put it on govdeals.com because it's lowest bid.
All right, well, Thomas, you've pulled this trailer around. In your opinion, is it worth less than $1,000?
I told you last time we talked, if it was me, I would not take less than $2,000.
Okay, so,
Due to the fact, it might need a tire or so, but those
They're
trailers
still
are very
high.
expensive. They're not cheap.
Between me and my father, we bought and sold more trailers than I can count because people keep anything. But yeah, those trailers are very expensive right now, especially.
so would y'all rather place an ad and take sealed bids for it? Because I think once you pass that $1,000 threshold, you might know, and I might be wrong, I think you're supposed to take sealed bids once it exceeds that value. If you don't put it on a site like GovDeals. And I do agree that somebody local that can come look at it would be probably more willing to pay us more for it.
I make a motion that we advertise it, because I think it's worth more than 1,000 too.
All right, we have a second.
I'll second
All
that.
those in favor say aye. All those opposed. Water operator update. The fellow that I met with,
Mike?
yeah, not interested. I've had one other call. Guy was really interested in the job, and, well, even when he found out that he had to be certified, and told me that he wasn't certified, he was still interested. So the only person interested is not certified. But, I talked to Jack. Jack had been interested in leaving because this was taking up so much of his time. But Mr. Thomas has gotten so sharp on the water department and has done such a good job that Jack said he would stay. Of course, he has some requirements. He gave me this agreement here. It is a contract, so to speak, and I will read it. Jack actually agrees to continue as a certified water operator for the town of Petersburg under the following conditions. Number one, oversee the daily operations of the water system. 2, collect all necessary water samples and report to state. 3, complete monthly report each month and mail to state. 4, help with meter reading and billing process. 5, monitor system performance and make recommendations. 6, continue to train water employee on water system needs. 7, be available by phone, etc., to help with problems such as leaks, adjustments, etc., that pertain to the water system. The above duties will be provided at a cost of $800 per month. Any additional work outside the required duties will be paid at a rate of $20 per hour. Which I can't recall a time where Jack was doing something outside of this.
I started to say, why would he, he's the one that goes for the water leaks and stuff.
Right.
But I always keep in contact with my mayor and Mr. Ashley on a leak of any kind.
Well, like I say, when I talked to Jack, he had nothing but good things to say about you. And he was just tickled, and that you have just made his job a whole lot easier. But right now, well, because he's the only game in town.
He may be king, huh?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
How big is the triune area up towards the other side of Shed Point? They have a water facility, but they pay their certified person $22 an hour.
Right.
That's not a very
But that
large
certified
area.
person, does he not work full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see, Jack,
But I will reiterate that we have no other prospects. And of course, Jack did attach a list of his duties to the back of this. And so far, Jack has been good to stay with us this long. Well, that's the thing, we haven't found anybody in that number of years. So, you know, I'd like to call for a motion to accept Jack's agreement. Well, that's the thing, you know, you got 30 days. Not everybody at once.
I'll make a motion to accept. We go down the line first.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Everyone set a record. All right, water report, prepared by Mr. Jack Ashford. Water purchase November 25th through December 29th was 1,613,161 gallons. Water bill was 1,480,740 gallons. The difference in 132,421 gallons, which puts us at a loss of 8.1%, which is leaps and bounds better than where it has been. Operations report. Chlorine residuals have been good this winter. Number 2, new certified operator. 1 application submitted, which they're not interested. Jack is willing to help in the transition. Number 3, we have had a few leaks due to cold weather. Railroad Street FPU repaired and a few customer service lines repaired by J&J and Buchanan Street on our side of the meter, or by the customer on their side of the meter at the dollar store in Warren Road. Number 4, all updated plans, emergency drought and bacteria sampling have been approved by the state. Next update is due 2023, every 3 years, unless there is a major personnel change. The police chief is the emergency coordinator. So, we have a motion to accept the water report.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Any other second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed. Now, senior citizens. No, I'm sorry, I skipped Parks and Rec. Senior citizens.
There's activity going on, just waiting for them to give them the go-ahead to open up. They are ready. They're just waiting for the go-ahead.
Good. Police report.
We had 17 traffic stops, 29 citations, 4 warnings, no arrest. I want to preface the arrest things on these is that the sheriff is, unless it's a serious felony, he still asked us not to bring anybody to jail with the COVID situation being as it is. And then when Lincoln County, Fayetteville had such a skyrocket of cases these last couple of months. So some of those, that 29 citations, there was, I think, 4 that would have been arrests for suspended or revoked driver's license. And they were cited in court. We had 2 welfare checks, assisted citizens 3 times, assisted Lincoln County twice, assisted THP twice, first responders once, assisted the fire department once, assisted by Marshall County once, and assisted by the THP once. We had 1 suspicious activity call, 1 animal control call, 1 reckless driver complaint, 9 escorts, which is Dollar General, and 2 motorist assist. We drove 634 miles for the month. Mileage is down. James is down to 1 shift a week. He's basically just hanging out until, with the grace of God, we're able to find somebody else to come in here and work. That's why I've got mileage down due to less time.
It's also now because you had to go to that training.
Yeah, so I was gone for a week, it was a chiefs of police, training that I had to go to, and so I missed out on a complete week, so.
Do we have a, like, do anything else yet?
What shift's he working, man?
He's been rotating between his Thursday night shift and his Saturday shift,
Oh, okay.
but right now I think he's been working mostly Saturdays. Like I said, he's being nice and just kinda hanging out, because he actually had put in his notice. He was supposed to have quit on December the 19th or 15th or something like that. I think it was the 19th, and he came in and just said, hey, you know, I know you hadn't found anybody. He's like, I can't do the week things, because for those that don't know, he's a pastor where he's from, and with the COVID stuff, he's been doing a lot of home visits and virtual stuff to teach and attend with his flock, as he said it. So he did. He's, you know, basically he lives an hour and a half away, because I even asked him, I said, you really want to still drive an hour and a half just once one day for 8 hours? And he said, well, you know, you guys have been good to me, so I want to help out. So he did say that he would still come in for 1 day a week. And I have had we had somebody pick up an application today, but they're not certified. And I've asked everybody. I've asked Marshall County guys, Lincoln County guys, Fayetteville City, Lewisburg City.
Well, Marshall County needs help themselves. At least they put an ad in the Elk Valley Times, so
Yeah,
they're needing help
I
themselves.
think Lewisburg City laid off. I think Lewisburg is in pretty bad financial dire. They laid off a bunch for the city police department, which I was hoping that maybe some of them might try to, you know, work if they want to stay in law enforcement, but I haven't heard anything yet. I live in Bedford County. I've asked Bedford County guys, several city guys, and nobody's interested. So if anybody's got any more ideas, I'm all ears. I don't know
There's
what else to
one
do.
guy, I can't think of his name. His daddy builds houses or something.
He works somewhere already?
Yeah, he works at Bedford County. But I can't think of his name.
He talked to you about it?
No, he
Oh.
goes into where Ken works at Wayne's Garage. I think he might come to your gym. I'm not for sure.
Okay. I got,
Yeah, so.
Is he interested? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying maybe talk to him.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
get his name, you know.
I'll get his name because he
I know
goes
they've got
in.
a bunch of new guys that I don't.
He's been there for a while, so I just can't think of what Ken says his name is or anything. So I'll ask Ken and then I'll let you know and maybe you can see.
Is there a motion to accept the police report?
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Fire department. Nobody here from the fire department. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those